I have reached a personal goal. And I'm very happy of. And I would not have been able to reach this personal goal without all y'all mile dropping, hammer slamming, mud duck conquering operators. And without y'all DIYers, do-it-yourselfers, without all y'all fine gentlemen that loves this hobby of radio. I wouldn't be able to make it without y'all. As many of y'all know, little old Gatekeeper, trust me, I'm just a small dot on the old chart, as they say. Just an old tiny star in the old sky. Just a grain of sand on the old beach. Just nothing special. Just an old country boy, as they say out here in the state of Georgia. Although I don't like putting myself in a label, because labels are boundaries. I technically started selling HG transistors many years ago. I ain't gonna get into all this little speech. Most of y'all know the whole deal on how HG made their way to our hobby, which I'm blessed enough to have a big hand in. And I'm just happy to, honestly, I'll be honest with you. It gives me joy that little old me that found this hobby by absolute accident. I literally found this hobby by accident. That little old me was able to just do anything, just a tiny thing that has helped our hobby continue moving forward. Because without parts, our hobby will die. And y'all know that. Without parts, our hobby will die. But I had made it a personal goal that I would love to be able to purchase the same one transistor of the maximum that HG can ship at one time. This is the biggest box that HG can ship, as in one single shipment. Now, if y'all watch my videos, I have already ordered a box of this size of 360 transistors, but that doesn't count towards my goal because that was 240 standards and 120 2879's. My personal goal was to be able to order 360, that's all they can fit in this box, 360 of the same transistor. And that's what this is right here, my friends. This is 360 standard 2879. So yes, it's going to be fun fine matching them for y'all. So let's open it up. I'm excited to, I don't need that much blade, do I? And yeah, I'm recording with my phone right there and using my POV camera, because the microphone on my POV camera isn't that good. And what I'll do is I just remove the audio from my camera and put the audio from my phone into the video. And yeah, you're probably going to get a big sight of this makeshift trash can right here beside me. I meant to empty that this weekend and haven't done it. So yeah, it's not a pretty sight, but this is the room that I do all my shipping in. I haven't started working in here yet, although I do. There ain't no I do plan on. I am 100%. As you can see, I've already purchased my nice ICA 936 soldering station for this room, which is right there. And I plan on doing small jobs in here. Alright. There's a 12016 D08s right there. I'm curious to see what the scope's going to be on these. We got up to a 58 on that one. Okay, they look pretty good. They look pretty good. So as you can guess, now I'm going to repeat this again. I still have not yet to make the video that I'm going to be making here in the near future to explain this in technological detail. But these transistors are already matched. They go. This is something that I discussed with HG in the very beginning, which is no other transistor company has ever done. The closest any transistor company has ever gotten done close to this is the Motorola's with their color dot system for their beta matching. These are matched from the factory with a professional curve tracer. Okay? They don't need to be matched. What I do, because a lot of my customers use atlases. All right, let's talk about this for just a quick second. We'll be quick about it. All right, this atlas right here. This right here, you don't have to have this atlas to test semiconductors. This is just a more higher end version of the DCA75. I haven't even plugged it up to my computer yet. I've been meaning to, but I hadn't done it. As you can see, the USB cable is still in there with the software. As you look at this atlas, take a look at these connectors right here. You see how tiny these connectors are? So you get this in camera good. These are designed for small transistors. This device is not designed to accurately, 100% accurately tell us every characteristic about these transistors. This is what you consider a power transistor. A bipolar junction transistor. It's a power transistor. Okay? Now this atlas will let us know simple things. Very important things. The atlas will let us know very important things. If the transistor is good. If the transistor is leaky. It will let us know a lot of great things. But one thing it will not let us know completely accurately what the HFE is. Accurately. Now, HFE is not a stand in stone reading. HFE changes. The HFE value of a transistor changes with many different variants. The HFE changes with drive level. The HFE changes with voltage. The HFE changes with frequency. The HFE changes with temperature. There's a lot of variations that does change the HFE of devices while they're in use. You can just set that right there for now. Okay? When we're using these devices, we are using these at a pretty decent amperage usually. I mean, with the way some of us use these devices, I mean, we're pulling 10, 11, 12 amps of current, amperes of current, if not more, by the way we run these things, especially with a lot of the way people are really overdriving devices and have no idea they're doing it. But it's just been accustomed to overdrive, you know. A lot of people are learning how to run things easy these days, I think. Okay. This device has a tiny 12-volt battery in the back here, man. Actually, this one runs off 1.5 volts. I thought it ran off a 12 volt. AAA 1.5. I don't know why I thought it ran off a 12 volt battery. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. But you see it right there. 1.5 volts. AAA. Alkaline AAA. This cannot give us a complete accurate reading of the HFE, but it can give us a nominal setting, especially if we all use this. But it's not giving us the exact HFE. Now, let's take this first device right here. it's got a 59 written on it. This was done at the factory using a proper curve tracer, which can give us our HFE and a lot more. We can work out our input impedance, our output impedance. We can work out the full beta gain of these devices with that piece of equipment. This number was reached by putting the transistor in conjunction, not into, I meant to say in saturation, not in absolute full saturation, but very well close to it, to where we have a good HFE reading closer to where we're going to be running these devices at. So if I hook up this device, I'm going to be making a video, like I said, a lot more technical. I'm going to show you some charts and stuff like that. As you see, we get a 36. But there's 59. Well, let me show that, make sure you see that in the camera. 36. I don't know if I need to turn some more cameras on here or not. But we got a 59 in here. That's because of the difference. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I could sit here and take this whole row, all of these are 59s, and test them with this Atlas, and every single one of them probably won't be 36. One might be 34, 33, 40. That's just because of the variance of this tester. But this is what I do, and I don't have to do this. I'm about to waste probably 3-4 hours doing this just for y'all, because it's better just to do this just to keep everything cool and kosher. What I'm going to do, using my nice, I call it a jig, but you know, you could call it many things, that my buddy Tech 9 made for me for Christmas, last Christmas, which makes me do a lot easier and quicker. But we're about to have a very nice jig, which I'm about to show you here in a minute. That's going to make it even faster. I'm going to try to somehow incorporate both of these so I can keep using this. I go ahead and do what I call fine matching, not matching. You can't match something that's already matched. I do what I call fine matching, which I go through every single one of these transistors. That's all 360 of these transistors. Yeah, I will be listening to a nice podcast or something to help me out while I'm doing that. And I will group these transistors in the numbers that this Atlas tells me, and then put them back on in these sleeves, or written on here, not the transistor. We don't need two different numbers, but written on here. And then when you come to me needing transistors, you still get transistors with the same number written on them. You see what I'm saying? So there's no harm, no foul in this. You still get transistors with the same number written on them, but they also match up with this. Because I do understand that not everybody understands this. And I've already went through this already, and I hate to say this. I really hate to say this. I've already been through this with a local of mine that won't even talk to me now. I mean, I am not naming names, but the poor fella was buying from me for probably over a year. And he bought 8 transistors from me. And I went and just grabbed them 8 transistors that were already matched from HG. I will admit that, you know, I was in a hurry that day. I didn't go through there and use this. Well, I obviously didn't. I couldn't remember if I did or not, but obviously I didn't, because he got home and checked them. And on his device, he wasn't using this. He was using a different device. It's a cheaper device they sell on eBay. With his device, it gave him different numbers. And he thought I'd done something wrong, I think. I guess he thought I didn't match them for him or something. And I didn't see his message till about 24 hours later, because he messaged me on another platform that I don't use a whole lot. I don't use as much as my regular text messages. And it appeared to upset him And I'll be honest with you. Before that, I was kind of scatteredly doing it. But when I would get there at the end and I would have transistors kind of just scattered everywhere within the numbers of the atlas in here, at the very end, I would start matching the numbers together. It's already written on here, and then getting rid of the last few of a set of a set of 120. And that's pretty. I think that's what happened with him, if I remember correctly. But I hate to say it, but from misunderstanding something, it cost me a customer. Maybe later on he'll understand, But I mean, it is what it is. So the way I look at it is this: it takes a couple more hours out of my time. But if it will bring more comfort to my customers, and especially the customers that still may be on the seesaw about it, if it will bring them more comfort, I'll do it. So that's why I do this. And at times, like I said, it can slow down some sales when you get down at the bottom and you've like somebody says, I need 6 transistors. You got 6 transistors, but they're not matching with the atlas exactly. But you got them. They got the same numbers on there. You're like, See, at that time, I may ask the customer, or do you understand that these match? And they're like, yeah, I understand. Oh, okay, then I'm selling. You see what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense with this. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. And while I'm on this subject, let me go ahead and grab this right here. As a few of y'all know, I was using my own one that I made, and it wasn't made this well at all. And my leads would fall off. And just in case a lot of you don't know, like I said, these are designed for small transistors. So to make this easier to accept, so I don't have to sit there and hook these up, you can do the math. If I have to hook these 3 leads right here up to these 3 leads on this transistor for 360 of them, how many times will I be hooking this up? Do the math. Do the math. 3 leads, 360 times. Or I could just hook the leads up like this. See what I'm saying? And then put the transistor in there and start testing. But there ain't nothing wrong. I want to go to the next level with this stuff. Because I was sitting there thinking, because every time I take the transistor and put it right down in here, and by the way, this may not read just from this lead. I don't know if you call it oxidation or whatever. Usually what I have to do is wipe and clean the lead on my connections right here, because sometimes it won't read after it's been sitting for a couple of days. We'll see. But I'll just put the transistor in there, press down very lightly, and test. 36. See, still reading the same thing. But I thought, wouldn't it be neat if I could take this transistor, put it in here, but instead of taking my right hand over here and pressing this, that I can press down on the transistor and it clicks that button for me. And I mentioned this, I'd say probably in 4 or 5 videos, and I had some people contact me, hey, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this, you could do that. Because I'm sitting there thinking about a button. I need to put a button under it. And I tell you what, man, this fine gentleman, I don't think he minds me mentioning his name, Mr. Hammer Jockey. Oh, you heard it right. Hammer Jockey. Came up with an idea, and it was so god dang simple. I had not even thought. I tell you, I'm like I said, y'all, I'm a computer programmer by trade. I grew up computer programming, and computer programming gets you thinking so deep. When I say computer programming, I'm talking about software development. It gets you thinking so analytically deep, and a lot of times I think too deep, like I'm all the way out here. When if I just think, like, what's the simplest way to do this? I can't do it. Look what this genius figured out. Yeah, it fell on the floor. I'll pick it up in a minute. Look at this. Look at this. So he's already got this set up for his tester he uses, which I'm going to buy me one now. I'm kind of curious how close they do work with the Atlas. So this right here are the 3 leads, okay? So this is the leads right here that I would be connecting these leads to. You see what I'm saying? These 3 wires that I'd be connecting these to. That is correct, yeah. Or for his situation, his is plugging into his meter, okay? So in my situation, you know, I could do whatever I wanted to do, or I could just sit here and take this and shorten them up like this right here, you know, or something like that. All right, so here's where the magic happens. These 2 wires right here, and if you look at this very closely, up under here is just a phenolic board, okay? And that phenolic board is split straight down the middle. You see that? It's split. So, now I haven't took one of these Atlases apart yet to even see if this switch will allow me to do this yet. It's just by thinking about it, by thinking how a regular switch would work. You see this little space right here? If you look down in there, there's a hole. There's nothing there. See, I hope you can see that in the camera right here. I could put a little plug right there, or just bring out wires that solder to this switch right here. Each side of the switch that makes connection when you press down like that is soldered to this. So it'd be like this right here. I probably won't stick that all the way in there just in case it touches something, mess something up. And if you'll notice, the next question is you want to make sure that everything is leveled perfectly to when, and that's the cool thing too, it don't matter how you hook these wires up. When I sit the transistor down like this, sorry about the dogs, alright, you want it to be sitting on these springs level, perfectly level. To where I'm this is the first time I set this transistor on here, period, so I haven't even looked at this yet. And then when I press down on this transistor, it's going to use the bottom of the transistor itself, the bottom, as a conductor, because it's conductive, to connect both sides of this phenolic together. It's like that. And press down. So I haven't got to test it yet. I'm going to take my continuity tester later and see how well it does pick up. It looks like it's pretty much sitting on it now. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty much okay, yeah. It ain't sitting, when I sit it on it, it's not touching the solder points he put on there until I press down just a little. That is so cool, man. And then all I gotta do is sit the transistor on here, do this, touch just a little bit, and it presses for me. And I'm sitting there looking, oh, 36, good deal. Boom, next one, boom, boom, next one, boom, boom. And that's the sweet thing, call it. I'm sure it's gonna stop recording. Would you look at that? How lucky can you get? It didn't stop. So this right here will speed up things dramatically. Dramatically. I kind of like it facing like, well, hold on. I've been so used to it facing like this because I've been used to this right here. See how that's facing like that? So I may just mount it like that, just something I'm so used to it. And then because when you put the transistor down in here like this, it's facing you. Press down. Beep. Oh, cool. Boom. Next one. Beep. Beep. Yeah, I can't wait to give this a good try, man. And see, that's another thing. I love the way he uses springs. It makes it real easy to adjust them to where they're perfect. You just keep kind of cutting a little bit. So hammer jockey, really cool idea, brother. Really cool idea. I think what I'll do, put me some double-side sticky tape on this. And I'll probably just get me another fixture. So I like seeing how other guys do things. It is just so neat to see the innovation from people, how their brains work. Like, for example, Tech 9. Look at these feet he made on this. Can y'all tell what that is? The innovation. I mean, something that's so simple that I would never think of. These right here are grommets. Grommets. Wire grommets. He's using them as feet. And they work. They work. Heck, that would work on a regular amp. And they're in standoffs. And somehow he just found the right grommet that fit on here perfectly that won't come off easy. That is so cool, man. Yeah, I just pulled that off. Alright, so I just wanted to show that and give Hammer Jockey a big shout out for this. So I'm telling you, I'm one of them guys, if I see something cool, I'm going to give you a shout out, man. And I'm going to give credit where credit's given. If I ever get an idea from someone, I'm going to give that person credit. Pride does not flow through me too deeply in this hobby. I do got a little bit. We all got a little bit. It does not flow through deeply in this hobby to where I feel like I've got to think I did this or I did that or I did this. I'm not going to lie. I will admit I probably let a little bit of pride flow through me talking about the HGs. Because I am proud of myself, you know, for just sticking with it, you know, sticking with it, spending time with my buddy up there at HG because there was a big language barrier. And it was a gamble. I mean, at the time, I knew it was a gamble. You know, what if I get these, put my name behind these, and they turn out like, I can't say it verbally for particular reasons, but turn out like other transistors that we've already tried that we don't like. I'm bound for particular reason I can't speak about them anymore. That's my name. That's my name behind it. And I got fully behind this because I was the one that did the first test. I was the one that picked out which transistor that we're going to use for the first test. Now, I will admit, if I could go back, I probably would have done that a little different because we had two transistors to pick from. The 08-4s and the 08-8s, which is what we're using now. That's why it's called the 16D08, the 08-8 chipset. I would have probably consulted in a couple of more builders, maybe even contacted Tony up at Fat Boy, and sent both of these transistors to a couple of builders because this is something we needed to come up with as a whole, you know. But luckily, it looks like I made the right choice. The 04-4s, they work well also. They just don't do as much power. You have to drive them a little harder to get them, you know. These were doing a little bit more power or less drive. That's the only reason why I picked them. And actually, I got a 16 transistor amp in there that I need to get built. That's been waiting for a while. This got all 04-4s. That's going to be a unique build. And I'm sure HG will still make them. You know, if people, me or anybody asked them to, but that is an old board. I put them 16 on there many years ago. I'd say 7 years ago, and just didn't do the build. And I'm very happy to say I will be doing it very soon. So I done talked too much now, y'all. As it is, basically, I got 360 HGs I need to move. And when I say move, these need to be gone quick. Why? Because I'm ready to buy 360 2879's. That's my next goal. That's my next goal. But I have I wouldn't say that's my next goal, but that is one of my next goals. But my main goal, I'm not going to say what it is yet. I'm going to wait till I get there, because I really do feel like I'm going to be able to get there before the year's up. Because I'm going to make a video about that goal just like I made a video about this goal. And it's got a lot to do with all these boxes you see back there. Basically, the goal is I was hoping to be able to move a certain amount of HGs in 1 year. And I'm close to it. I'm very close to it. Now, let's move to one more thing before I jump out of here. But basically, if you need, before I do that, if you're needing transistors, hit me up. We'll work out some stuff. I may go a tad bit cheaper than I've been going just to get these moved. As long as you order a few from me, I just want to get these bad boys moved and out of here so I can get more. Duh, right? But I really want to get these moved. I'm going to try to really step up my game here from this point to January 31st. Now, everybody knows that Gatekeeper's behind. Gatekeeper ain't taking in work. Gatekeeper ain't taking in repairs, But nobody really truly can visually know how much work do you actually have left. Well, the work that means the most is my builds. Those are the most important. I've been trying to get to this point to where I'm at now for a while, but I'm really trying to get to the point to where I have 0 builds left to do. To give everybody an idea, I've done a lot of cleaning up and organizing here recently, and I have moved the remaining cases right here. Yep. I will stand up. Oh, just so you can see everything. These are the remaining builds that I have. Almost. There's one more candy 2x8 case in the room. Just didn't feel like getting up there and getting it where it's at. Plus, I didn't want to go too much higher. And there are 2 power supply cases in the hallway over here. But other than that, this is it. And I accidentally lied. There's also one Dave made style one that's in pieces right here. Yeah, I forgot to point down here too. Hey, big guy, what you doing, big boy? You ready to go get mama? Y'all ready to go get mama? Y'all ready to go pick up mama? Peanut, you ready to go pick up mama, buddy? But yeah, right here, my good buddy's getting a 4-pill C box and that. And I got one of these cases right here is for that 16 pill I told you about. And this other case down here is, what is that? Oh, okay. One of the cases that was in the out here in the foyer is right here. But basically, just in a nutshell, this is it. And I've got 3 builds on the table right now. But this is it, y'all. I've got to work through this, turn them into reality and real working amplifiers, and I am caught up. And then, of course, I have some repairs. And I'm sitting here looking in the line of sight, and I can see there's also a case over here too. My buddy over at RF Junk. That's going to be something separate. I'm not really counting that. That's something separate. And yeah, so I'm working hard, y'all. I'm back full time now. You know, a lot of y'all knows I had some health issues. I took a little bit of getting you. Well, I ain't completely used to it yet. I'm still getting used to it, but I had to basically change a lot about my life, change a lot about how I do things, change a lot of scheduling type stuff. You know, basically just kind of had to work my life around to get used to certain things. Because I mean, there's certain things, man, that can pop up in your life that you just can't fix like that. It's going to take, you know, I hope to God I don't have sleep apnea for the rest of my life. You know how scary it is? I mean, Do you know how flat out scary it is to not be able to just go over to this bed right now and lay on my back and take a nap without being scared of doing it? Of just being able to lay on your side or lay on the couch and take a nap. Of knowing, no, I've got to have my mask on, or I'm not going to be breathing right. My oxygen levels are going to be going down. My heart's going to be pumping faster. It sucks. It really does. So that's something at first I could not adapt. I could not wear that mask at night. I could not. I would lay there 3 or 4 hours with that mask on. And I eventually would have to lay on my side because my beautiful girlfriend said that appears to be the way I'm not snoring as loud and doesn't seem like I'm being affected as much laying on my side with one pillow, not multiple pillows. So I was going through that for a while, and I was like, look, I was like this right here. We're humans. Humans can almost get used to anything. That's just how we're built. And I was like, this is something I have to do. And I'm going to get used to this regardless of how hard it's going to be. And that's what I've done. And I mean, there's still nights to where, like last night, I woke up with having it on about 3 hours. I woke up, and sometimes when I wake up like that, get up real quick, get me a drink of water or something, and lay back down. It's just something's different. It's almost a claustrophobic type feeling, and I just can't do it. And I have to lay on my side, and it ain't a fun feeling. Or there's other nights, where I can just sleep with it all night and I wake up feeling great. So that's enough of all that talking, I'm sure a lot of y'all done clicked the off button by now anyway. But you need transistors? Hit me up. Need HG finals? Hit me up. Have I got my number wrote down right here? I don't. I had it on the other one. 678-557-4846. 678-557-4846. Text me. Another big goal for this week is getting that website up. It was, I think, this is the goal at least. The goal is to have the website up, even if it's in its most simple form, this week. And y'all, there will be retail prices. So if you haven't ordered before you have now to get locked in, I ain't gonna tell you to hurry, but do what you want. And so nobody forgets. Well, it ain't y'all gonna forget because y'all haven't seen the video yet. And I made this video about a week ago, and I just hadn't went and edited it yet. Metal 1000s, matched to the picofarad. So if you're building an 8 pill, 16 pill, 24 pill, 2 pill, well, can't match 2 pills, just one capacitor. 4 pill, 6 pill, and you hit me up and say, hey man, I need 3 metals. When these metals come to you, they're going to be matched to the exact picofarad. That means you'll be able to sit there and rest easy knowing all of my metals are matched, not 1%, they're matched to 0%. They are identical picofarad. So that's what I believe in. I'm an OCD guy. These right here are already 1%. They were already a 1% tolerance before I went right here and matched them. You'll see in the video. So if you need metals, hit me up. And I've got a lot more parts I'm going to be selling here real soon. I plan on putting on the old website. I found me a real neat DM30 capacitor that I would probably say would be best for the, what time is it? I need to get going. It'd probably be best for the more competition, probably amps, or an amp you're just going to be dogging the heck out of, because they're going to be expensive. A lot more expensive than the metals. But I'd never seen these before. When I found them, I bought every one of them they had. These are DM30s. DM30. 1000 volt, 1000 picofarad caps. DM30, 1000 picofarad caps. And guess what? Not 1000 volts, 1500. I've never seen a 1500 volt DM30. I've only seen them up to 1000. And I've never seen 1000 picofarad DM30 either. These had to be special made for somebody. And a lot of y'all may not know that they actually go up to DM42s. Oh, God. All right, y'all, I'm going to leave that at that. 73s, old Gatekeeper.